Do you ever stop in the middle of a sentence because you're not sure if it's in the office or at the office? You start speaking, then suddenly you freeze. You hesitate, you think too much, and the words just don't come out naturally.
If that happens to you, don't worry. It's one of the most common problems English learners face. But today, we're going to make it simple, clear, and natural. No complicated grammar, no confusing rules.
In the next few minutes, you'll finally understand the real difference between in and at, not by memorizing rules, but by feeling how English actually works.
This is Speak English Every Day, and by the end of this lesson, you'll use in and at with more confidence in real conversations. So stay with us. This one will really help your English sound more natural. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Speak English Every Day. I'm Sara, and we're really happy you're here with us today. Whether you're listening from your bedroom, from the bus, from work, or even while walking outside, thank you for spending these minutes learning English with us.
Hey everyone, I'm Tony. It's great to have you here again. And if this is your first time listening to our podcast, welcome. This is a relaxed space where you can learn English step by step, without pressure, without stress, and without complicated grammar explanations.
That's right. Here at Speak English Every Day, we focus on simple, practical, everyday English. The kind of English people really use at work, at home, in cafés, on the street, not just in textbooks.
Exactly. We don't want you to just understand English. We want you to feel comfortable using it. So instead of long rules and technical words, we use real conversations, clear examples, and natural situations.
Think of this like a friendly chat where you learn something useful every time. You can listen, repeat, and practice with us, little by little, every day.
So, Sara, quick check-in. How's your day going? Where are you right now?
Today I'm in the studio, sitting in a quiet corner with my notes and a cup of tea. It's calm, peaceful, and perfect for recording. How about you?
I'm at the studio too, but near the window. I've got my coffee, my microphone, and a long list of things to record today. Busy day, but a good one.
And what you just said is actually perfect for today's lesson.
That's right. I said at the studio, and you said in the studio.
Same place, same moment, but different feeling. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
So let's talk about something we see all the time. And one of the most common questions is about very small words, like in and at.
Yes, these two little words cause a lot of stress. Learners often write things like, teacher, should I say in the office or at the office? Or, is it in the morning or at the morning? And they're really worried about it.
And we understand why. Because sometimes you want to say something simple like where you are or when something happens. But then you stop. You start thinking about the rule. You try to translate from your language. And suddenly, speaking English feels hard.
Exactly. You might be in a conversation, maybe at work, maybe talking to a friend, and you want to say a simple sentence. But in your head, there's this little voice saying, wait, is it in or at?
And that small doubt can stop the whole sentence. You pause. You hesitate. Maybe you even decide not to say anything at all.
And that's the sad part. Because your idea was simple. Your English was almost there. But one small preposition made you lose confidence.
So let's say this very clearly right now. If you feel confused about in and at, it does not mean your English is bad.
Not at all. In fact, it means you're starting to notice the details of real English. And that's a good sign. It means you're growing.
Every language has these small words that are hard to translate. They don't always follow strict rules. And English prepositions are famous for that.
But here's the good news. Today, we're not going to give you a long list of grammar rules to memorize.
No complicated charts. No technical terms. No stress.
Instead, we're going to help you feel the difference between in and at. Because once you feel it, you don't need to stop and think so much.
You'll just say the sentence naturally, the way native speakers do.
So if you've ever felt confused, stuck, or unsure about these words, this lesson is especially for you.
Let's start with a very simple idea, something we really want you to remember. The difference between in and at is not about memorizing a long list of grammar rules. It's not about passing a test or choosing the perfect answer every time. In real life, English is more flexible than that. What really matters is the focus. When you speak, you choose how you see the place or the moment. Are you thinking about the exact point, or are you thinking about the space around you? That small change in focus is what creates the difference between in and at.
Yes, and this is where many learners get confused, because they expect one correct answer all the time. But English doesn't always work that way. Sometimes, both in and at are possible, and the meaning changes just a little. Not the place, not the time, just the feeling of the sentence. So instead of asking, which one is the rule, try asking, how am I looking at this situation? That question is much more helpful, and it will guide you to the natural choice.
Let's look at a very clear example. Imagine I say, I'm at the office. That sounds completely normal, right? Here, the office is just a location. Someone asks, where are you? And you answer, I'm at the office. It's like a point on a map. You're not talking about the inside, the desk, the walls, or the details. You're just telling the location, very simply.
Now listen to this one, I'm in the office. The place is exactly the same, but the feeling changes. Now we imagine you inside the office space. Maybe you're sitting at your desk, typing on your computer, surrounded by walls, papers, and coworkers. The focus is no longer just the point on the map. The focus is the inside of the space.
So notice this carefully. Same building, same job, same day, same person, but a different focus. And because the focus changes, the preposition changes too. Not because English wants to trick you, but because you're looking at the same place in a different way.
Let's try another example. Listen to this, she's at the hospital. This often means she's there for a reason. Maybe she's visiting someone. Maybe she works there. Maybe she has an appointment. We don't know the details. We just know the location.
But if I say, she's in the hospital, the feeling changes immediately. Now we imagine she is a patient. She's inside the hospital, probably in a room, staying there and receiving treatment. Same building, very different situation.
Here's one more example. The kids are at school. This sounds like their normal routine. It's a general idea. During the day, children are at school. That's just part of life.
But if we say, the kids are in school, the focus changes again. Now we're talking about their situation as students. It means they are studying, they are part of the school system, they are not working yet. It's more about their stage in life than their exact location.
So let's pause for a moment and remember the key idea. English changes when your focus changes. Not because the rule changes. Not because one is right and the other is wrong. It changes because you're looking at the same place in a different way.
Exactly. So if you remember just one sentence from this section, let it be this: same place, different focus. And once you start thinking this way, in and at will begin to feel much more natural. Now let's make the idea even simpler. Forget grammar terms. Forget complicated explanations. Just imagine a picture in your mind. When you use the word in, you're thinking about being inside something. Inside a room, inside a car, inside a city, or even inside a period of time. It feels like you are surrounded by something. It's not just one point. It's a space around you. If you close your eyes and imagine it, it almost feels like a circle and you're standing inside that circle.
Yes, that's a great way to picture it. When you say in, you're not thinking about a tiny point on the map. You're thinking about an area, a space, or a period that holds you inside it. For example, when you say in the room, we imagine walls around you. When you say in the morning, we imagine a part of the day that lasts for some time. So the feeling of in is soft, wide, and surrounding. It's not sharp or exact. It's more like being inside a bubble.
Now let's look at at, which feels very different. When you use at, you're thinking about a point, a specific spot on the map or a very precise moment in time. It's small, exact, and focused. Not a big space, just one clear location. For example, at the bus stop, at the door, or at 7 o'clock. You can almost imagine a tiny dot on a map or a single point on a timeline. That's the feeling of at, simple, precise, and focused.
So here's the key difference, and it's really all you need to remember. In feels like you are inside something, surrounded by a space or a period of time. At feels like a point, a spot, or one exact moment. And remember, English is not math. It's not about perfect formulas. It's about how you see the situation. Once you start feeling that difference, using in and at will become much more natural.
Let's start with at, because this one is very common in daily conversations. When we use at with places, we usually see the place as a point. We're not thinking about the inside or the details. We're just talking about the location in a simple way. For example, if I say, I'm at the bus stop, it just means I'm there waiting. It's one point on the map. Or if I say, she's at work, it simply means she's at her job location. We don't imagine her desk, her office, or what she's doing. We just know where she is. The same happens with sentences like, we're at a cafe, or he's at the airport. Even though an airport is huge, when we use at, we're only thinking about the location, not the inside of the space.
Now let's switch to in, which gives us a very different feeling. When we use in with places, we imagine being inside the space itself. We can almost see the walls, the furniture, the people around us. For example, if I say, I'm in the office, you can picture me inside the room, maybe sitting at a desk or working on my computer. If I say, she's in the kitchen, we imagine her inside that space, maybe cooking or moving around. And when we say, they're in the car, it's very clear, they're inside the vehicle, doors closed, sitting in the seats. So the feeling within is physical, visual, and surrounded by the space.
Now let's compare them directly, because this is where it becomes really clear. Listen to these two sentences. I'm at the office and I'm in the office. The place is exactly the same. The building doesn't change. But the focus changes. When I say at the office, I'm just telling you my location. It answers the question, where are you? But when I say in the office, now you imagine me inside the space, maybe working at my desk or sitting in a meeting room. Same place, same moment, but a different focus.
And this is very important to understand. Many times, both sentences are correct. English is not always about one perfect answer. It's about perspective. You choose the preposition depending on how you see the situation. Are you thinking about the location as a point? Then at feels natural. Are you thinking about being inside the space? Then in feels more natural.
So the next time you're not sure which one to use, don't panic. Just stop for a second and ask yourself a simple question. Am I thinking about the point or the space? That small question will help you choose between at and in much more naturally in real conversations.
So far, we've talked about places, but in and at are also very important when we talk about time. And this is where many learners start to feel confused, because there are mornings, nights, years, seasons, hours, and it can feel like too many rules. But just like before, we're not going to memorize rules. We're going to feel the difference. When we use in with time, we're usually talking about a longer period. It's not one exact second. It's more like a stretch of time that surrounds the moment.
Exactly. Think of in as something soft and wide. For example, when you say in the morning, you're not talking about one exact minute. The morning lasts for hours. You can wake up, have breakfast, check your phone, go to work. All of that happens inside that time. The same idea works with in the afternoon, in the evening, or even in 2025. A year is a long period. You're inside that time, not at one exact point.
Yes, and the same goes for seasons. We say in summer, in winter, or in the spring. These are long, soft periods of time. You can do many different things during them. So the feeling of in with time is very similar to what we talked about with places. It surrounds you. You are inside that period, not just touching one single moment.
Now let's switch to at, which feels very different. When we use at for time, we're usually talking about a specific moment. Something precise, something you can point to. For example, at 7 o'clock. That's one exact time. Not before, not after. Just that point. Or at noon, which is the exact middle of the day. Or at midnight, the exact moment one day changes to the next.
And then there's a special one, at night. Night feels longer than a single moment, but in English, we treat it as one clear block of time. So we say at night, not in night. It's just how English naturally sees that part of the day. So even if it feels like a longer period, the language treats it like a specific point or block.
So let's compare one more time to keep it simple. In feels long, soft, and surrounding. Like in the morning in 2025 or in summer. But it feels sharp, exact, and focused. Like at 7 o'clock at noon or at night. Same idea as before. It's all about how you see the time. Not rules, not memorization, just focus. Now let's look at some very common expressions with at. These are phrases you'll hear all the time in everyday conversations. The important thing here is not to overthink them. Many of these are fixed expressions, which means people learn them as a whole chunk, not word by word. For example, we say at home, at work, and at school. These are extremely common and very natural. We also say at the moment, which means right now and at the same time when two things happen together. These expressions are simple, practical, and used every day.
Yes, and with these expressions, it's better to listen, repeat, and copy how people actually speak. Don't try to translate each word into your language, because that often creates confusion. For example, in some languages, people might say something like in home, but in natural English, we say at home. So the best strategy is to treat these phrases like one piece, almost like one word. Just learn them together, repeat them often, and use them in real sentences.
Now let's move to some common expressions within. These usually give the feeling of being inside something or part of a bigger context. For example, we say in bed when someone is lying down or resting. We say in the city when someone is inside the city area. We also say in the world, in the future, and in my life. These all have that feeling of being inside a bigger space, time, or experience.
So here's the big takeaway for this part: don't overanalyze these expressions. You don't need to ask why every time. Instead, listen to them, repeat them, and start using them in your own sentences. The more you hear them, the more natural they will feel. And once they feel natural, you won't have to stop and think about the preposition anymore.
Exactly. It's like building a habit. The more you use these common phrases, the more automatic your English becomes. And that's the goal: speaking without stress, without translating, and without overthinking every small word.
All right, everyone, that's it for today's episode of Speak English Every Day. We hope you enjoyed learning the difference between in and at, and that you can already feel how much easier it is when you focus on the feeling rather than the rules.
Yes. Remember, English is a journey, not a race. Keep practicing a little every day, speak out loud, make mistakes, and enjoy the process. The more you use it, the more natural it will become.
And before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave a comment below telling us where you are right now. Are you in a room or at a place? We love reading your answers and practicing together with you. See you next time.